The atmosphere around Ibrox has taken a sharp and unsettling turn, and it all comes back to one man, Russell Martin. The pressure that had been simmering quietly for weeks has now exploded into full-blown public backlash, with fan groups and former players no longer holding back. And the tipping point? A scathing statement released by the Rangers Supporters Association that doesn't just question Martin's position, it demands change. For many, it feels like the inevitable has finally arrived. After a nightmare start to the season, with not a single league win in the first 5 matches of the campaign, frustration among the fan base has reached boiling point. The dream of a fresh start under Martin has turned into a recurring nightmare, and supporters are not only questioning his tactics, but also his ability to motivate and lead a squad expected to challenge for silverware. The disappointment isn't just about poor form. It's about the identity of the club and the fear that Rangers are losing their way under this current regime. And when a man like Barry Ferguson speaks out, people listen. A Rangers legend with deep ties to the club, Ferguson didn't hold back when asked about the state of things at Ibrox. He made it clear he had ambitions to take the job himself before the new American ownership chose a different route. And now, watching from the sidelines, he's clearly feeling the pain that every supporter feels, watching a club he loves crumble under the weight of poor decisions and underwhelming performances. On Go's football show, Ferguson spoke with the raw emotion of someone who's lived and breathed Rangers his whole life. "I'm a Rangers man," he said. "I want them to do well. Is it sore to watch? Yes, of course it is. I want Rangers to be successful, and I want Rangers to start winning games of football." But what really stood out was when he began to outline exactly what he would have done differently, especially when it comes to recruitment. Ferguson pointed to several players already proving themselves in the Scottish Premiership, players who, in his eyes, could have made an immediate impact at Ibrox. Lawrence Shankland was top of that list. After scoring twice at Ibrox in Hearts' recent 2-0 victory, his name is impossible to ignore. Ferguson highlighted that Shankland was available on a free transfer, and despite concerns about his age, he emphasized that the striker has only improved with time. According to Ferguson, Shankland suffered a dip in form last season because he was playing too deep, almost like a third midfielder. But when he's in the box, Ferguson says, he knows exactly where the goal is. Then there's Josh Mulligan, another name that was clearly on Ferguson's radar. He admitted that there was a genuine opportunity to bring Mulligan in and that he was a player who caught his eye consistently. And this is where Ferguson's perspective becomes even more valuable. As someone who's been on the touchline, not just watching matches on television, he's seen these players up close, felt their presence in matches, and judged them by more than just stats or reputation. He's convinced that to succeed in Scottish football, you need a certain type of player, someone built for the intensity and the unique demands of the league. European football, in his view, is a bonus. But the bread and butter of Rangers Football Club is the domestic game, the league, the Scottish Cup, the League Cup. That's where the foundation is laid. And in his view, Russell Martin simply hasn't understood that yet. One name that lit up Ferguson's face with no hesitation was Vax Lekne. "No-brainer," he said immediately when asked. And his frustration didn't stop there. Ferguson made a powerful point about what he sees as a lack of respect, or even awareness, of the talent already within the Scottish game. "There's a real ignorance towards Scottish talent," he said. "There's not loads, but there are enough who could do a very good job." And he's not wrong. You only need to look at the likes of Josh Doig, Lewis Ferguson, his nephew, and Aaron Hickey to see that top talent can come from this league and go on to make a real impact elsewhere. The fact that Rangers haven't capitalized on that local talent pool has been a massive missed opportunity. Ferguson pointed to players like Alex Gogic at St. Mirren as examples of the kind of character and quality the team is missing. Aggressive, organized, versatile, players who might not grab headlines but are essential in building a winning team. All this frustration from Ferguson mirrors the mood among the fans. And the latest statement from the Rangers Supporters Association makes it crystal clear that patience has run out. The group didn't mince words. They stated that the continued lack of visible action from the board is damaging the club more than helping it. The falling ticket sales, the apathy spreading among supporters, and the on-field results have painted a bleak picture of the current state of Rangers Football Club. They called for Russell Martin to be removed from his role immediately, warning that failing to act could push supporters further away and deepen the crisis. The message is simple: enough is enough. And it wasn't just the RSA speaking out. The Union Bears, another influential supporters group, echoed those calls. Their statement was even more direct. They described Martin's tenure as a disgrace to the standards the club was built on, saying that his failure is absolute and his removal should be immediate. But the backlash didn't stop with Martin. Patrick Stewart, the club's chief executive, has also come under heavy fire. The Union Bears accused him of avoiding responsibility for what they call a catastrophic decision in appointing Martin. According to them, Stewart's refusal to take ownership of the situation makes his position untenable, and they believe the new American owners must now step in decisively. It's a powerful, emotional cry from the fan base, and it's backed up by planned protest actions set to take place at the next home match unless the club acts swiftly. Supporters have made it clear that their patience has limits, and those limits have been reached. What's unfolding now is a critical moment in the club's modern history. The pressure is mounting from all sides, and if there's no intervention soon, the disconnect between board, management, and fans could become irreversible. And while all eyes are on the manager's seat, another subplot has emerged with Nico Raskin. Once hailed as a central figure in Rangers midfield, his sudden fall from favor has raised even more eyebrows. Omitted entirely from the squads in two crucial matches against Celtic and Hearts, fans are left wondering what exactly is happening behind the scenes. Martin claimed it was about earning trust again, but for many, that explanation feels thin, especially when you consider Raskin was named Player of the Season just a few months ago. His close friend Wid Sheriff, who now plays in the lower leagues back in Belgium, revealed that there's already a lot of interest in Raskin's future. According to him, the midfielder still has a bright future ahead of him, no matter what happens at Rangers. That's not hard to believe, especially after Raskin scored his first goal for the Belgian national team earlier this month. For fans, the Raskin situation only adds to the confusion and sense of instability at Ibrox. A club that should be planning its path forward with clarity and ambition instead feels stuck in crisis mode. Key players are being sidelined, performances are deteriorating, and the leadership appears paralyzed in the face of growing unrest. The danger now for Rangers isn't just the poor run of form. It's the feeling that the club is becoming directionless. With the dressing room seemingly fractured, fan confidence evaporating, and club leadership under fire, the mood around Ibrox is turning toxic. The unity that once gave Rangers their edge has been replaced by confusion, frustration, and, for some, outright anger. And amid all the noise, Russell Martin finds himself more isolated than ever. When Martin first arrived, there was cautious optimism. He spoke the right way, promised a modern, high-energy style of football, and talked about building something long-term. But in Scottish football, patience is a luxury that barely exists, especially at a club like Rangers. You are judged from the first whistle of the first match, and the early signs were already shaky. Now, with 5 games gone and not a single league win to show for it, the honeymoon is officially over. What's left is a manager who seems increasingly lost, a squad that isn't responding, and supporters who no longer believe. And let's be clear, it's not just about tactics or formations anymore. This is about mentality, identity, pride. Fans aren't just upset about results. They're hurt by what they see on the pitch. A lack of aggression, no urgency, no fire in the belly. It's not what Rangers are supposed to be. And that's why the calls for change are growing louder every single day. People don't just want new tactics. They want leadership. They want someone who understands what it means to wear that badge. The big concern right now is that inaction is doing more damage than any defeat on the pitch. Supporters feel like their voices are being ignored. When protest banners start appearing and fan groups release coordinated statements, it's not noise, it's a warning. A warning that the trust between the stands and the boardroom is breaking down. And if that trust collapses completely, rebuilding it will take years. That's how serious the current moment is. This isn't just another blip in form. This is a full-blown identity crisis. And it's not just fans outside the club voicing concerns. There are whispers from within the dressing room that certain players are struggling to understand their roles. Training ground methods have reportedly been questioned, and some of the more experienced players are said to be quietly frustrated. The sense is that the clarity and belief that should be running through the squad simply isn't there. When that starts to happen, It's only a matter of time before performances on the pitch fall apart. That's exactly what we're seeing now. Take the Hearts match as a perfect example. Losing 2-0 at home isn't just a bad result. It's a statement of where things are going wrong. The team looked flat, disjointed, and completely devoid of ideas. There was no reaction after going behind, no surge of energy or passion to rally the team. And that's the real issue. Because you can forgive a team that loses but fights. What fans can't accept is a team that looks like it doesn't care. The longer Martin stays in charge, the more difficult it becomes to turn this around. Every press conference feels like a repeat of the last. The same words, the same excuses, but no evidence of actual progress. And while the board hesitates, the damage is deepening. Players are losing confidence. Fans are disconnecting. And the club's rivals are pulling ahead. That's the cost of standing still in football. It's also hard to ignore how other clubs in the league are showing exactly the kind of mentality Rangers fans are crying out for. Look at Hearts. Look at how Shankland led the line. How their midfield bullied Rangers in their own stadium. How the entire squad played like they had a point to prove. That used to be Rangers. That used to be Ibrox, a fortress. Now, it's a place where visiting teams believe they can take all 3 points if they just stay organized and wait for Rangers to collapse. That's how far the fear factor has fallen. And yet, the solution doesn't have to be complicated. Fans aren't demanding world-class football or Galactico signings. What they want is commitment. Hunger. A team that knows what it means to fight for Rangers Football Club. And for that to happen, changes have to be made, starting at the top. If the manager has lost the dressing room, lost the belief of the fans, and lost the ability to get results, then the time has come. It's harsh, it's brutal, but that's football at a club with expectations like this. What makes things even more complicated is the role of the new American ownership. Their arrival came with promises of ambition and a new vision. But the silence from the boardroom lately has left fans wondering whether they truly grasp what Rangers means to its supporters. This isn't just another business venture. It's a way of life for thousands. And that means when things start to go wrong, you can't just wait and hope they fix themselves. You have to act. There's also a financial angle that can't be ignored. Falling ticket sales, declining merchandise revenue, and a potential early exit from European competitions all put extra pressure on the club's budget. If performances don't improve soon, Rangers risk missing out on the kind of revenue that keeps them competitive not just in the league, but in the transfer market. In that context, keeping Martin on board might actually cost more in the long run than making a change now. And for players like Nico Raskin, the situation only becomes more complicated. Here's a guy who was being celebrated as one of the club's brightest stars just a few months ago. Now, he's not even making the squad for crucial matches. And with reports of multiple clubs tracking his situation, you have to wonder, are Rangers really in a position to be alienating talent like that? Raskin's own teammates are reportedly confused about the situation, and fans are left to guess what's happening behind closed doors. It's yet another example of the instability that's plagued this season from the very beginning. Before we continue, make sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications to get all the exclusive news about Rangers FC. Don't overlook any details about your beloved team. It's crucial for Rangers FC fans. There's a growing murmur echoing round the streets of Glasgow, the kind of chatter that drifts from pub corners to the stands of Ibrox, and it all centers on one name, Enis Bardhi. Word is the North Macedonian playmaker, long admired for his guile and set-piece wizardry, is on the brink of pulling on the blue shirt of Rangers. Nothing has been stamped official just yet, but insiders close to the deal whisper that confirmation is imminent, perhaps even within the week. For supporters who've watched the midfield struggle at times for invention, the thought of Bardhi weaving his left foot through Premiership defenses is enough to quicken the pulse. At 29, he's no raw prospect, but rather a seasoned campaigner with La Liga and international pedigree, someone who thrives in tight spaces and can turn the tide of a match with one clever pass or a dead ball strike. Those qualities haven't gone unnoticed by the Ibrox hierarchy, who have been quietly circling for months, gauging both the player's intent and the feasibility of a move. The talk in the dressing room corridors suggests the deal is not just a flight of fancy. Bardhi is said to be keen on the challenge, enticed by the chance to compete in Europe and by the prospect of becoming a central figure in Philippe Clement's plans. His adaptability across midfield roles makes him an asset both in domestic battles and on continental nights under the lights. Of course, Rangers fans have heard rumors before that never quite materialized, but this one has a different weight. The timing, the consistency of the whispers, the nods from those in the know, it all adds to the sense that Bardhi's arrival is more a matter of when than if. Should the paperwork be finalized, it would mark a significant coup, a statement that the club mean business as they look to wrestle silverware back to the blue half of the city. Until the announcement lands, all that remains is anticipation, the tantalizing wait for official word. But for now, the rumor has taken on a life of its own, and the Ibrox faithful are already picturing Bardhi, arms outstretched, celebrating in front of a roaring Copeland Road end. Greetings, fans. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, as it's greatly appreciated by Rangers FC. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments section below. Until the next video, stay tuned.